Okay, well, we're taking an advantage of a brief period without clouds in the constellation Auriga, the charioteer, in the northeastern sky tonight in Baiting Hollow, and we're live streaming some of the Messier objects, the three Messier objects that are in this constellation Auriga. And Auriga has a very bright star Capella, but it also has three very nice open clusters. And the one that we're starting with tonight is M37. And I'll read to you briefly what the Wikipedia article says about this cluster. M37 is the brightest and richest open cluster in the constellation Auriga. It was discovered by the Italian astronomer Auriga before 1654. And then Messier independently rediscovered M37 in 1764. So it is on the order of 400 million years old, and it has actually over 500 identified stars. But in this slow video that you're looking at tonight, you can only see, well, there are probably 100 in here. Let me move it up just a little bit so the central bright yellow star is more clearly visible. And I'm just moving it up in little steps, and because the exposure here is quite long, it's actually I think half a second, in order to bring out as many stars as possible. When I'm moving the scope, they smear out just a little bit. Okay, I think one more notch we can go up so that we can see more of this very pretty open cluster in the constellation Auriga. Okay. Now, unfortunately, the article doesn't really say much about what the brightest star is there, the one right in the center. I might be able to find that out while you're looking at this live video of the Messier object M37 in the constellation Auriga, Messier 37, an open cluster. Let's see whether we can get better information about it. Okay. Okay, so this is a hot, evolved red giant star. So let me read to you what Messier noted in his diary. In the night of September 2nd to September 3rd, 1764, I have observed a cluster of small stars near the right leg of Auriga. One has difficulty to see these stars with his telescope, but one can see them with a better telescope. And then he gives the coordinates. Okay. In my 6-inch telescope we can see this very pretty cluster quite nicely. So, having shown you M37, I'm now going to send the telescope to the nearby cluster M36, and I noticed that they're still not very high in the sky. Later in the evening they will get a lot higher, but it's part of the sky that happens to be relatively cloud free at the moment. So the telescope is moving towards this next open cluster in the constellation Auriga, and it centered it, and there it is. And in some ways it's perhaps even prettier than the preceding one. The stars seem to be whiter, whereas the other ones were mostly yellow. Let's see what we can learn about Messier 36 in the constellation Auriga. And we're looking at it right now. It says that it's very similar to the Pleiades cluster M45, okay? However, I still can't really see it on my video camera. Maybe I can home in a little bit on that. Okay, yes, I can just about pick it out on the video camera, but it's not very bright. Much better view in the telescope that you're looking at now. So it's thought to be about 25 million years old. So this is Messier 36 in the constellation Auriga. We previously looked at Messier 37, and now we're looking at Messier 36, and I think you'll agree that they're quite different looking. Okay, so it only remains now for us to go to Messier 38. And that one looks as though it will be more bluish, but we'll see. Okay, so the telescope is moving now to M38. It doesn't have very far to move. And you can see it's adjusting its coordinates. It's checking to see whether it's actually centered on the right cluster. It finds that it is centered, and now it's going to show us this third open cluster in Auriga, M38, and this is also a very nice cluster too. Okay. So what I might do now is to record a video of this cluster, and then hopefully I will be able to switch back the telescope to M37 and M36, and then side by side we might be able to compare the three clusters, looking at the two videos that I've recorded, and then the live video of M36. So this is M38, Messier 38, an open cluster in Auriga. And tonight we're looking at the three open clusters in Auriga, M36, M37, and here M38. There was a little gust of wind which knocked the telescope a little bit, but it returned. We're looking at M38, Messier 38, open cluster in Auriga. Okay, so that's saved the video, and now we can send the telescope back to M37. It'll only take a short while for it to go to that target, and then we can take the video. Checking that it's centered, and it is centered, and here it is. That's the one we started with the yellow stars, and this is M37, and now I'm going to take a video of that so that we can compare the videos of all three of these clusters. Okay, now while I'm taking the video, I'm actually going to turn on the cooling because that should lower the background noise, and we probably won't be able to see it, but on the video I speed it up and actually watch it cooling down and reducing the background noise that we have here. We're looking at Messier 37, open cluster in Auriga, video, live video. Okay, I think that's enough recorded, and then finally we'll go back to Messier 36, which is here. And how we will see Messier 36 there. So this is Messier 36 open cluster in Auriga. Now let's see if we can pull up the video of M37 and M38. Okay, so we have to go to here, we have to go to image management, we have to go to let's have a look here, not video, where are my videos here? Apologize for this. Let's have a look here. Yeah, of course I know where it is. So this is M36 open cluster in Auriga. And now, with a bit of luck, I can go to my photo album and I can pick out our most recent videos there, this one here. Okay, and I think I have to play that again. we should be able to go back to the other one dated just now. Is this one here? It doesn't really look quite right, but that certainly does look like M37. Just seems to be playing much faster. I'm not quite sure why that is. There you can see the central bright yellow star in M37. Okay, so now let's go back to our live view of M36. And of course it's reset all these settings, so that's anyway, so we saw 3 open clusters